My name is Hannah Scott. I was born and raised here in Wichita, Kansas. I went to Wichita State University to get my Bachelor's of Fine Arts. I graduated in 2014. Right before I graduated, I started this small little business with a friend of mine where I would draw portraits of people's faces and then he would etch them into rubber stamps. That progressed for a few years, and then I got into mural work and freelance illustration jobs and personal work as well. It's just kind of taken many forms, my art career. And once I transitioned out of stamps a little bit, I ended up opening up the shop with my friend and partner Kevin Wilt, called Vortex Souvenir, and it's an art and gift shop here in Wichita, Kansas, and it still allows me to do commissions on the side and my own personal work, and so I do a little bit of everything. I mean, the first one that comes to mind is the first mural I ever did, which was for Lululemon, an athletic brand, like an athletic wear company. They opened up a shop in the waterfront, I think in about 2015, and they reached out to me to do murals for them, and I had never done murals before, and it was a massive project. It was like 500 square feet. There was a ceiling mural. I had to get up on a scissor lift and use a scissor lift for the first time, and it was a huge project, a huge undertaking, and I learned so much in a very short period of time. I learned a lot about myself, and I learned a lot about painting murals, and that's the project that kicked off all other murals for me. So I've done murals for Reverie Coffee on Douglas here at Vortex. I have one on the side of the Crown Uptown. That would be on the west side of the building. Revolution, the shipping container mall, in one of their big bathrooms. Stalls, basically, like in the bathroom container. There's a huge 40-foot long mural there that I did. Lava and Tonic, it's a tiki bar in downtown Wichita. I did murals for them. I love working with just pencil on paper, I think, the most. That's what I did in art school. That was my primary focus. I love like the simplicity of it, and I love the intimacy of it. And my personality is like more of a controlling personality, and it's the medium I can control the most. But with jobs and, illustration work, I do use my iPad a lot, or my computer with Photoshop and all that. So a lot of the time I find myself craving physical materials again, like pencils and paint and that kind of thing. So I like that I'm able to kind of bounce back and forth, and it kind of allows me to exercise my skills a little bit when I can do a little bit of all of it. But these new pieces that I've been working on, I've been using spray paint a little bit, which is a totally new material I haven't used before, and it's kind of opening these new pathways into new ideas and concepts that I don't think I would have explored otherwise. So the material can sometimes guide the ideas in a really interesting way. So the piece Curious Intruders is kind of born from these drawings that I started at the beginning of the pandemic, actually. I was making these drawings of these different types of flowers that were like surrounded by these kind of dark amorphous shapes, like blobs and tubes and like liquid forms, and it felt kind of like foreboding, or it felt a little menacing at the time. Those shapes did, because we were all living in a very scary time with a lot of unknowns and a lot of confusion and mystery, but I wanted to continue to use those shapes in art that I was making, but I wanted to make them feel less sinister. This piece in particular, Curious Intruders, there's, a human, and then there's these shapes, these blobs that kind of feel like alien or radioactive in a way. And I liked raising the question of who is actually an intruder in this situation, because we don't understand things because we're scared of things, we are quick to write them off as intruders or scary, something that is the other. And I wanted to illustrate it in a way that made it feel like these things can be faced and understood and eventually made peace with. And they don't have to be scary. KMUW is such a reliable and strong source for news and information. And so hearing, like turning on the radio, hearing about all these world events, all these things that are happening that feel very ominous and scary and very doomy, you know, I think there's just a natural inclination of wanting to try to like find some kind of consolation within everything, you know, facing these things, thinking about them in a very objective way, trying to understand them and, like I said, make peace with them in a way, you know, these things, all of this information and everything that's happening. It doesn't have to feel so scary if we're willing to try to understand it and understand each other and help each other through it and face what we feel is alien or unknown or out of our control. Recently, honestly, I have been following a lot of new Instagram people, artists, Instagram artists, all different disciplines, ceramics, printmakers, painters, so many different things. I love having a fresh new well of just a new resource of finding artists that I probably wouldn't have found otherwise. Just seeing how they work and how they problem solve, that's so inspiring to me, and it's just giving my brain new pathways of finding ideas and concepts to explore. And even even my lava lamp, like at home, looking at my lava lamp, that was like a huge inspiration actually for this piece, just the weird blobs coming up. I'm like, oh, that's something I could explore a little bit. Simple as that, yeah.